Okay, in this lesson we're going to be working with problems from section 2.4, and in the first few problems here my directions say to write an equation and don't solve. So we're taking a word problem and write an equation for it. Problem number 1, the total cost of a bouquet of roses at a flower shop depends on the number of roses ordered. The vase cost $5 and each rose cost $2.25. If Gary spent $16.25 on a bouquet of roses, how many roses did he buy? The first thing that I'm going to do is to sort of draw a picture of what's going on. I've got the cost of the vase plus the cost of the roses, and that's going to give me my total cost. So this is just to kind of help organize your thinking and also to help you write out your equation. The cost of the vase, I know, is $5. The cost of the roses altogether, I don't know, but I know that they're $2.25 a piece. So if I take $2.25 and multiply that by the number of roses that I have, that's going to give me my total cost, which is $16.25. Problem 2, a phone call costs $2 for the first minute plus 5 cents for each additional minute. If a phone call costs $2.50, how long did the call last? Let X represent the number of minutes the call lasted. Now this is very similar to a problem that we did in chapter 1 where we were just writing an expression, but here we have an equation. So I've got two different things going on. The first minute of that phone call is $2, and then all of the other minutes are 5 cents a piece. So $2 for the first minute. Each additional minute is 5 cents. So I'm going to multiply that by X minus 1. And the reason why I have X minus 1 is because if the phone call is X minutes, I have to take 1 away from that because that first minute was $2 and the remaining minutes were 5 cents a piece. So that left side of my equation is going to equal $2.50. Okay, problem 3, the cost of a phone call plus 8% tax is $432. Determine the cost of the phone. So I have the cost of the phone plus tax equals the total cost. I don't know the cost of the phone, so I'm going to call that X. The tax I don't know, but I know it is 8% of the cost of the phone. So 8% is 0.08 written as a decimal times X, right? Multiply 8% times the cost of the phone to get the tax. And I know that that total is $432. Okay, these next set of problems, we're going to go ahead and write the equation and solve. Problem number 4, Jim bought a CD player for $50 and several CDs for $10 each. If Jim spent $90, determine the number of CDs he bought. Okay. So again, I'm going to draw a sort of diagram here to help me out. I've got the cost of the CD player plus the cost of the CDs, and that will give me the total cost. Okay, the CD player is $50. CDs are $10 a piece, so it's 10 times however many I have. Right, if I bought 2, that'd be 10 times 2, $20. If I bought 4, 10 times 4, so $40. And I know that altogether I spent $90. So now I have a basic two-step equation. Subtract 50 from each side, so 10x is 40. Then divide both sides by 10, so x is 4. So Jim bought 4 CDs. In problem 5, the cost of shipping a package is $4 for insurance plus 40 cents per pound. If Bob spent $6.80 to ship a package, how much did the package weigh? So the cost of shipping the package was $4 plus 40 cents per pound, so 40 cents times however many pounds there are, and that total was $6.80. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to write this $4 as 4.00, just because everything else is out to the nearest penny, and I'm going to do that to avoid mistakes. I'm going to subtract the $4 from both sides of my equation. So I have 40 cents times x equals $2.80. So divide both sides of my equation by 40 cents. And that's going to give me 7. So the package weighed 7 pounds. Okay, problem 7, Sarah bought a coat and a pair of boots for a total of $320. The cost of the boots was $40 more than the cost of the coat. Determine the cost of each item. So again, the first thing I want to do is draw out a little diagram here to help me. Okay, so from here, I would like for you to try to finish this out on your own. So pause the video, complete this, and then come back and check your answer. Okay, and there are your answers for problems 7. Okay, problem 8. John spent 7 hours on the lake. Part of the time he spent sailing, and the rest of the time he spent fishing. If he sailed his boat for 2 hours more than he fished, how long did he sail? So I want you to try to solve this problem on your own. So pause the video, work out the problem, then come back and check your answer. Okay, and there's your answer for problem 8. Now, if you wrote the hours fishing as a mixed number, 2.5, that's fine, and then sailing would be 4.5. So either one of these answers are okay, in fraction form or in decimal form. Okay, problem number 9, the sum of two consecutive integers is 81. Determine the two integers. All right, so you need to know what the word consecutive means. And that means one right after the other. Now, you've probably heard that term consecutive in history class before. For example, Roosevelt was elected president 4 consecutive terms. You may have heard the word consecutive in sports. For example, a certain team has won 2 consecutive Super Bowls. Right, so it means one right after the other, or back to back. So consecutive integers would be numbers like 7 and 8, or 25 and 26. They're one right after the other. The other key word that I have here is sum, and sum is the answer to an addition problem. So I'm adding 2 numbers together. So I have my first number plus my second number, and the answer is going to be the sum. I don't know what either one of these numbers are, so I'm going to call the first one x. Now I know that since they're consecutive integers, that second number is 1 more than the first, so that second number can be expressed as x plus 1. When I add those two expressions together, the sum is 81, so my equation 2x plus 1 equals 81. So 2x is 80, x is 40. My problem asked me to determine the two integers, and I've only found one. Right, that first integer is 40, and the second integer is 1 more than that, so it's going to be 41. Don't get lazy and come down here and put your answer right next to the x, because then you're telling me x is 40 and 41, and that's not the case. Right, so come over here to the side to give me your final answer, 40 and 41. Again, when I add those two together, I get 81. Okay, problem 10, the sum of two consecutive even integers is 50. Determine the integers. What's different about this problem is that instead of just consecutive integers, I have consecutive even integers. So that means the numbers are like 8 and 10 or 20 and 22. Right, it's an even number and then the next even number. Okay, so there's kind of a roadmap before my thinking needs to go. All right, I've got the first number plus the second number, and that's going to give me my sum. I don't know what the first number is. I'm going to call it x. I know that the second number is 2 more than the first, right? Because they're consecutive even. So that second number is 2 more than the first number. So when I add those two numbers together, I get a sum of 50. So let's go ahead and solve that equation. Okay, so my numbers are 24 and 26. Okay, problem 11, the sum of two consecutive odd integers is 64. So consecutive odd integers are numbers like 11 and 13, 27 and 29 is an odd number, and then the next odd number, which is going to be 2 more than the first. So let me draw out my diagram here. Okay, the first number is x. The second number I don't know, but I do know that it's the next odd number. So it is 2 more than the first number. So when I add those two numbers together, the sum is 64. So let's solve this. Okay, and there are my answers, 31 and 33. Problem 12, the sum of three consecutive integers is 63. Determine the integers. Okay, so here is my diagram of what my thinking should be. That first number, I don't know what it is. I'm going to call it x. The second number is 1 more than the first number, so it is x plus 1. And that third number is 1 more than the second number, so it is x plus 2. Now notice I have not added those three numbers together. I just sort of lined everything up so you can see my expressions for those three numbers. Now I'm going to go ahead and add them together and set that equal to 63. So now I need to combine my like terms in order to solve. Subtract 3 from both sides of my equation and then divide by 3, so x is 20. So my three consecutive numbers are 20, 21, and 22. And if you go back and add up those three numbers, you'll see that they add to give you 63. Problem 13, the smaller of two consecutive integers is added to 4 times the larger integer. The result is 64. Determine the two integers. Now this problem is a little bit different. Actually, it's quite a bit different in that I have not just the sum of the two numbers, but there's more that's being done here. So I'm going to do this problem a little bit differently. X, I'm going to let equal my smaller number. And since I'm talking about consecutive integers, x plus 1 is going to be my larger number. Now let's go back to the problem again. The smaller of two consecutive integers, which is x, is added to 4 times the larger. So 4 times that larger number is going to be 4 parentheses x plus 1. This part right here is this part. 4 times the larger is added to the smaller. And the result is 84. So now it's just a matter of distributing and combining my like terms. And then I will have a basic two-step equation. So my answer is 16 and 17. All right, problem 14. 10 less than 5 times the number is equal to 4 more than 3 times the number. What is the number? Well, those little boxes are not going to really help me with this problem. All right, the first sentence says 10 less than 5 times the number is equal to something. 10 less than. Let's concentrate just on this part right here for a second. 10 less than means I'm going to be subtracting 10 from something. And I'm going to be subtracting it from 5 times a number. So I'm going to be subtracting it from 5x. And then that is equal to 4 more than 3 times a number. Right. 4 more than means I'm adding 4 to something. And what am I adding it to? I'm adding it to 3 times the number. So this is my equation. I've got variable constant on each side of the equal sign. I'm going to get rid of the smallest variable term first. So 2x minus 10 equals 4. Add 10 to both sides, then divide by 2. So x is 7. Problem 15, 3 times the sum of a number and 2 equals twice the number. So remember that word sum is one of those key words, which means I want to find the word and after that. So there's my keyword, find the word and that is where my symbol of addition is going to go. Remember, because sum means to add. So what am I adding? I'm adding some number x and 2, and that's going to equal twice the number. Well, remember, sum is the answer to an addition problem. So that means I need to be getting this sum and then multiplying it by 3. So my equation is 3 parentheses x plus 2 equals 2x, right? Twice the number. So from here, I distribute. And I can do this problem a couple of different ways. I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides of my equation. So x is -6.